Welcome, everyone. This is this week's Stellar Developer Meeting, and this today is going to be a little bit different schedule than usual. We will start with a presentation here from Hoops Finance, and then about half an hour from now, we will switch over to Discord, where the core team will give a cap proposal presentation. But yeah, welcome, Bastian and Tim. You guys are well known from our Discord, and I'm super excited about hearing what progress you've made with Hoop Finance. So please take it away.
Thank you so much, Karsten. We are super excited to be presenting in the dev meeting to try to get some eyes on our project. And well, in our new update, we did the entire UI from the scratch, trying to improve user experience and to make it easier for developers and for retail users in the future to start using our application. So this is our landing page at the moment. We are working as well on launching a new one, but the goal here is to make human readable risk analytics for blockchain. What's the idea of risk analytics is that we do think that liquidity pools are very scattered and they have an untapped potential. And I believe Stellar really has that potential hidden away, and we can really unlock it if we provide clear and transparent data on these liquidity pools and different offerings, right? So let's go to the app and see what we have here. We just push an update. Hopefully it doesn't break. There you go. So this is our new UI. Right now we have two main pages, which is the pools page and the tokens page. In the pools page, what we're doing is aggregating different automatic market makers from the ecosystem, projects that came from the Stellar Community Fund. In this case, we have SoroSwap, Aquarius, Blend, and Phoenix. We're still working to add Blend into your UI, but it's working through the API. This is something that should be out quite soon. But through our UI in the pools page, you're going to be able to see these rankings, right? Where we are ranking what best APR pairs we have, the best volume, and best stable coins. Obviously, this is data from our indexer, so we got to use it with caution still. But we are working on creating a validation system to ensure that always the data that we're showing is accurate, and we're trying to do that with other projects in the ecosystem, so we can always compare and ensure that everything is correct. But for example, here in the table, we can see different liquidity pools from the ecosystem and important data that would help retail investors and really anyone that wants to participate in DeFi have an idea of how they work and why would they want to participate in a liquidity pool over another. For example, here we have the native and Aqua, which is XLM and Aqua pool, right? We have our volume chart, and we have some overview on this, like 24-hour volume, value locked, fees, whatnot. We have a proprietary risk score that we generate from different data points, as well as different analysis from social media, from the internet, that gives us an idea of how risky a pool is. There's many factors that affect the risk score, and we are continuously improving on this. But hopefully this would be essential for us to be able to launch in a nearby future what we want to do, smart savings account or automated liquidity management, right? In tokens, it's very similar. We have top tokens by volume, right, by liquidity, and our top stable coins, and we can see information about these. And we can go straight to the Explorer to check these tokens, check the contract of these tokens and information on them. Few things here and there that we gotta fix, of course, but basically this dashboard is going to provide the Stellar user and really any user in the future with a one-stop shop to save, to invest, and to analyze their investments long term, which is really exciting. Another thing that we've been working on is actually creating an authentication flow, which I think is very important, so we can get our users logged in and we can provide them with API keys, which we were just working on right now. So crossing my fingers, everything is good. But if you sign up with Discord, for example, we use Discord a lot in Stellar. We can create this account, and as you can see, we get a profile where we can go to our developer account and create an API key, which we're going to call it Stellar Org Live. And when we create this API key, we get it over here. We can copy it, we can save it, and then we can start querying our API to get all this information, maybe in future projects that people in the audience is working on, right? Possibly in the Stellar Community Fund, possibly from other projects from other chains, right? The idea, again, is that all this data is transparent and available, not just through our dashboard, but also through our API. Our API looks a little bit like this. It's pretty well documented for you to start playing around with it. At this moment, I believe you do not need an API key to play with the API, but it's always good that you create an account and get your own key early. But basically, you have here a playground to try out, to get different metrics from different protocols. For example, Aqua over here is going to give us a response, right? It's going to tell us the pairs that are found in the Aquarius protocol, right? Through IDs, through their fees, LP token supplies, and whatnot. And within this is very early, but we are working on our AI endpoint, which is quite exciting, which is how can we talk to these metrics in like a human would, right? And have these AI basically transform all this information in something that is more palatable, like asking, hey, what's the best APR pool today? And the AI could tell us just by querying the API and give us that information in a way that is understandable. Obviously, this is still in the works, and we're making sure that the information provided is always correct and is always coming directly from our API, and that the AI doesn't hallucinate, right? But I think this is really exciting. We can see it being implemented in other protocols.
Hey, just to inject on that hallucination, those are endpoints to be used by large language models and not generated by a large language model.
Absolutely. So yeah, it would be easy for us to integrate this in just in other protocols or even in wallets, for example, right? In the Stellar ecosystem, there are many wallets. So to have this little assistant that can ask these metrics very, very quickly and just give you an answer that is understandable, I think could create quite a disruptive change, if I may. But yeah, I'll leave the floor to Tim, to Silence. You all know him, to explain a little bit more the technical details of what was being worked on. And yeah, take it away, Tim.
Tim, you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, wonderful. That's good. Can you hear me now, right?
Yes.
Bastian was talking a bit about the risk metrics. If you look at the Get Statistics endpoint, you can see like the various actual metrics and weights that we make the score from. I plan to show those on the front end in various ways. Right now, it's just basically the aggregated scores, but we offer a bunch of different scoring methods for different pools. There's also a way to generate those for tokens. Right now, we only offer it for pools publicly, but we plan to add the token statistics soon. You mentioned that the API doesn't require an API key right now. That's correct. However, it would require a key if you were like interacting from a different origin. So like if you wanted to use it on the client side of your website. Also, keys would be required for auth probably in about a week from now. So just a heads up on that. I don't know what else. The AI endpoints, some of them are basically the same thing as the other endpoints, but they return the values in a much more compact and truncated way, so that if you were using this in a language model, which got a little bit of experience with that, and you don't want to have a bunch of excess data. If you look at a normal API response object in JSON, it's got, for example, the label of the field on for every value, and you really don't need that. So like the AI endpoints are like they're self-describing. They return a JSON schema along with the data, so that a large language model is able to know what the data is and parse it. It does things like truncates the addresses because it doesn't need the whole address most of the time. You can change those truncation things with URL params, different options. Those options are not yet documented because that system's still in development. As far as data validation, we plan to use, we're simultaneously building like Sorbent contracts that allow you to use this data more or less as a controller to make automated trades. I don't know if you showed them the portfolio page, but basically you would set up an account contract that you then install strategies to. Those strategies will tell the account when to make trades, when to move liquidity, things like that. So you set like a base value or a base currency on the account. Right now that is only like XLM, USDC, or EuroC, but in theory it could be anything. And then the account's goal is to generate yields. So it earns rewards from AMMs, earns interest from AMMs, claims and reinvests those, and automatically moves your liquidity between different markets based on the rules that you set in the strategy. You can also make manual strategies where it's like you tell it exactly what pairs you want to use at what ratios and how often to claim rewards, things like that. But with that system, it uses some of the data from the API, which is all calculated using transactional data that's on chain. And so what we plan to do is more or less have an asset in the protocol that in order to stake that asset, you need to run a validation set on the data and then publish proofs of that to the chain. That is still very much in development. So we're trying to find ways to keep as much data off chain as possible while still being able to accomplish what we want to with that system. Basically, it uses on the back end a swap aggregation system that it aggregates liquidity pools, but can work with many different types of liquidity pools, different protocols, and gives them all the same interface using adapters to allow our account contracts to be able to not necessarily have to specify what pool it wants to interact with. It's able to derive it based on information that's on chain. So we're also working on a chatbot system that will help you develop different strategies, answer questions about like what's a good market to invest this in, what market has the highest volatility, things like that.
Yes.
I'm not sure what else to show. You mentioned the auth system. The auth system's pretty cool. It's on our back end. We have our own, we're like a SAML provider to this website. This is like sort of like client-side auth using access tokens and refresh tokens. But we've made it in such a way that it can be integrated using a system very similar to SEP10 to link your Stellar account to your Hoops account and use So you'll be able to use your signer for your savings account contract can be a passkey or a traditional wallet, basically. And then you can also like log into. You have to create your account using either your email or a social provider. But once you've created your identity on our back end, you can then link wallets to it and be able to log into our website through either a passkey, which that passkey ends up being the signer on your account, or through your wallet, which could also be a signer on the same account.
Yeah, we really believe that passkeys are really essential for moving on in the future, just to ensure a better user experience. I think as we go along, for the everyday folk, just keeping a bunch of wallets, it's difficult. It's difficult to remember those private keys as well, right? So passkeys, we believe, is the future, and we're looking forward to implement this into mobile as well, with a simplified version of this app. So,
oh yeah, to be clear, all the Stellar auth right now in passkey auth we have disabled because we are developing this system against mainnet, and all the data's from mainnet, and we don't want people to be risking real money until we've had the contracts ready for release to the point where everything's been audited and that we know it's safe to use with real money, right? So we may offer a testnet version at some point. It's a little bit hard because we have to build all the protocols on testnet as well in order to do that, and then generate traffic through all those protocols, which for most things it's not needed since we have live data to use. You can basically simulate most things. So
yes. So we'll leave you with a call to action, really, to just go to the Discord under projects. We have Hoops Finance. Just try it out. Try to break things, ask questions, and let us know what you would like to see in the app. What would you think would be best? And yeah, we're working on making authentication as strong as possible so we can start keeping track of these users and start helping new projects and new developers to actually use this infrastructure that we believe could really change and shake things up within Stellar.
That's really great. It's impressive to see how far you've come already. I was just wondering, do you have any ideas what the timeline looks like? When are you planning to go live on mainnet?
With the protocol, I would say this summer, but it depends on when we are ready for the audits and then how long the audits take. We're actively working on it. There's parts of it that may go live on mainnet sooner. So we're trying to build it in stages so that it can be basically used as we develop each feature. However, that's probably going to be limited to like swaps and liquidity deposit withdrawal initially, with some of the automated strategies then being added in. So if that makes sense, more or less trying to be able to launch what we can that we know is safe, while still making it so that the system will fit together when it's live. So that the actual token issuance is probably going to come through, once the account factories are audited and live, because it sort of integrates with the treasury accounts that control the token. So
yeah, it'll take a little bit, but we are focused right now on getting all this on testnet. We kind of have to build around a little bit to create these new pools and everything, but testnet will be out soon. I don't want to give dates, maybe earlier, maybe later, but testnet will be out so we can start seeing how this works behind the scenes. And to answer Twitch, I did not connect to Twitch, so I cannot chat, but yes, Hoops wallet or something of the sorts is coming on the roadmap as well. I had worked on a wallet myself in the past many months ago. So we're probably going to be
I
retrofitting.
imagine that is going to be something of an app that allows you to interact with your account contract easily, to be able to do sends, withdraw, standard wallet stuff, even though it is a Sorban contract. So some way that it could allow you to use funds from that to interact with other parts of Stellar besides Sorban.
Yeah, when we think about mobile wallet, I ask you to think about passkeys. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, this sounds great.
Because really, at the end of the day, your wallet, like if you have your passkey issued from your phone, then your phone really is the wallet. So it's quite easy to make the system work multiple devices, just because of all the work that's gone into passwordless auth already by so many other people. So.
Exactly, and it just goes hands in hands with the idea of smart savings accounts, right?
Yeah. Okay, just quick.
You want to make it feel like a
here.
Traditional app, right?
So the UI looks amazing, and just what we've seen here this last few minutes is looking very promising. And then you have the API that's really well documented. So who do you think is going to? How is this going to be used? Is it more going to be used with the web interface, or is it more like a developer solution, or both? What are your ideas and what are your thoughts about that?
I think there'll be a lot of end users, but I think that there will also be enterprise customers. I know we've talked to certain other projects in the ecosystem that have been interested in using some of like the scoring data, like inside their apps for like profiles about projects. And I figured we need all this data in order to do the stuff we want to do with the automated accounts. We might as well make it easy for other people to build on top of it as well. And so I imagine also there's a good business opportunity in the normalized data that we provide. So
yeah,
it's kind of both. There's a developer side to it, but I'd say most people would know it through the web interface.
Yeah. As of now, we're probably more to go into developers, right? We want to encourage them to use the API and just people that have been in the DeFi at Stellar for a while to use this tool. And as we move along and just more people is being on board in Stellar every day, right? To just have the basis for this becoming a retail application, right? So to have everyone to really be able to use it and get to this ideal of a universal savings account, which can be put as a retirement plan, right? Which I believe is something that needs to change in the coming years.
Our goal is to make an account that it's a yield-bearing account that's permissionless, basically, that anybody can have, and it they manage it, but at the same time, our application helps, right? So you could build on top of it and make your own interfaces. I think that's good for everyone. That's what
absolutely.
That's what blockchain.
Thank you. We are unfortunately running out of time. It was really great to see all the progress. Hear some of your thoughts about the future of the project and what you're working on. And I'll encourage everyone to go take a look at it. As you both said, go find some errors, go test it out. Poke it.
I would probably not use the data in anything live right now. No. Just a heads up, there's no way we can promise everything, because there's the audits. There haven't been any audits done yet. And it's under active development, very active. Like we merge domain quite often, and every time that's potential breaks. So
many sleepless nights for sure. Thank you so much, Carsten.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you so much,
I
Kristen.
think it could be fun to do an update in a few months and see where you are, because this looks very promising.
Yeah, we're moving pretty fast. I think we'll have plenty of updates.
Okay, great. And thank you for everyone who joined. Right now, we're going to switch over to Discord, where the core team is going to give a presentation about some of the proposals they are launching related to Protocol 23. So see you over there. Thank you, and join again next Thursday. Bye.
Bye bye.